Hello everybody, this is legendary Scarybob Miloš Zaman, and today we are doing another tier list, and it's going to be about the current UFC champions. I'm still not sure how to rank them, whether on their skill, potential, what they've done, a resume, but as we go through this we'll figure it out. So starting with Dricus du Plessis, I gotta be honest, when I'm looking at the champions lineup, he has to be one of the weaker ones. It's not his problem that he's in a weaker division. No, that middleweight division is getting stronger every day, I feel like. Compared to what it was when Izzy was reigning, it's a lot better now. But even with that, I think it's a weaker division. He had a arguably controversial win against Sean Strickland, where a lot of people thought that he actually lost. And even though he's getting a lot of finishes, I don't know, I just don't see him as high up as some other people. I mean, he is getting a lot of finishes, he's well-rounded, sure, he's awkward of a striker, but he's not that bad, but still technically could be better. Out of these, I gotta put him C. Does not mean that he's bad, but I feel like the other ones will just be much better, to be honest. But he beat Robert Whittaker, which is pretty crazy, and he still beat Sean Strickland officially. Okay, Leon Edwards. Let me think. I mean, his resume isn't the strongest. I guess it's not as bad as I thought, because when I really take a look at it, 2 Usman wins, that's quite good. That's actually really good. Then, what else? Colby Covington, I mean, past his prime, but still a good win. So, when I look at his future, I don't really see anybody beating him. I mean, he's super well-rounded. He's a great grappler, a great striker. He's quite boring to watch for sure. But I do think that he's almost as well-rounded as they come. He does give up his back a lot of the time against grapplers, so if he fought someone like Islam Makhachev, that could be a problem for him. I do feel like the only really fighter that from that division, apart from Islam moving up from 170, that can beat him is Shafkat, so because of that, because of his well-roundedness, I'm actually going to put him at A tier. I think he's very, very solid. Okay, John Jones, most people's GOAT. And for good reason. I mean, he has done so much. Obviously not clean 100%. So, yeah, been caught multiple times. For me, that's why he's not as GOATed as people say. But he's an incredible fighter. However, if we are talking about the current champions, he's clearly stalling the division. He does not want to fight the top contenders like Tom Aspinall, who is the interim champion. He wants to fight old men like Stipe, and then favorable matchups like Alex Pereira for him. And he's not even fighting right now. Plus, his win versus Cyril Gane is way overrated. I mean, it was an impressive victory. There's nothing really better he could have done, but that was literally the easiest stylistic matchup pretty much in the whole division for him. Cyril Gane has no takedown defense, no grappling, and even Francis Ngannou showed that, except that Francis Ngannou doesn't have the finishing ability. But he is absolutely great. But because we're talking about the current situation, not like old time, I'm gonna put him A. Otherwise, I would put him S. But right now he's just stalling the division, and yeah, picking easy matchups pretty much. Okay, Islam Makhachev. I honestly think he's S tier right now. I really do. I mean, it's really hard to see anybody beating him. I mean, who is there? Arman Tsarukyan, I feel like will give him a tough fight, because the grappling there is pretty even, I think. I mean, maybe Makhachev is more well-rounded because he has more of a submission threat. Arman is more of a pure wrestler. But, yeah, I do feel like there's almost nobody that can beat him. That will beat him, I guess. Anybody can really beat him because It's the right shot at the right time, and that's all you need. And Makhachev doesn't have the best chin, but he has great defense, so it's not easy to hit him. He's most likely going to beat Dustin Poirier. He already beat Alexander Volkanovski, who's one of the greatest featherweights of all time. It does not matter that he was a featherweight, because he also accomplished so much, and he's a big guy despite his short height. Sean O'Malley. I really thought of this before as like the most interesting pick for me, because at the start I thought maybe A, because he's, in my opinion, maybe the best striker now in the UFC. I mean, he's a really good striker. I don't like his personality, but it's not about that right now. He did beat Aljo, which I did not think was going to happen at all, and it was an impressive showing, but I feel like Aljo fought quite poorly. He didn't shoot enough takedowns. However, it's because of Sean O'Malley's trickiness as well and his length, which made it hard for Aljo to close in. One thing that brings it down for me is the Peter Yan fight. I think he clearly lost that fight, and a lot of people do. I don't know how people all of a sudden now are trying to make the case that he actually should have gotten the decision. He shouldn't have. But I was still impressed with Sean O'Malley, because I thought that he was going to get destroyed by Peter Yan. And even though he got the, in my opinion, a robbery decision in his favor, he impressed me a lot. Like, he actually went toe-to-toe with Peter Yan, and it was a very close fight. But, like I said, he picked Chito Vera.
I'm back with breaking news, everybody. So we know the champ Sean O'Malley called out number 6 guy Chito to avenge his loss.
Also a very favorable matchup, instead of fighting somebody like very dangerous like Merab. And until he shows me something else with his wins, I'm going to put him in B tier. I think he has crazy potential, at least easy 8 here. He's already shown that he's super skilled and everything, but I feel like he needs to do a bit more in his division and beat some actual top guys like Corey Sandhagen and Merab. Okay, Alexander Pantoja. Just a bit ago I would have said that he should be very high up, but to be honest, now thinking about it, that division, the flyweight division, it's pretty weak. I mean, when you take a look at the skills, it's probably still one of the most skilled divisions, because the lower in weight you go, the more skilled usually are the fighters. But he just arguably lost to Steve Erceg. Then, arguably, okay, I did not say he did, but a lot of people think so. Before, he had a relatively close fight versus, what's his name? I forgot, but the guy that I think Brandon Moreno just lost to. But he had a close fight versus him. He has cleared out most of the division, I gotta be honest. He has cleared out most people in the division, and multiple times even. So his like reign and his streak of wins is very impressive and everything like that. Brandon Moreno is a great win. I think it's pretty damn good, but the weight division is quite weak, and his last performance brings him down a bit for me, so I'm going to put him in the middle B tier. Okay, Alex Pereira. I mean, to be honest, he's one of the most impressive, quickly rising UFC champions, straight up. Like, I mean, he still does not have much experience, but he's already a double champ. He does not have many fights in the UFC. He's a double champ already. But when you take a look at him, he's already built up quite the resume. Like Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya, Jamal Hill, Jiri Prochazka, Jan Blachowicz. I do feel like most of them were very solid stylistic matchups, for sure. Very solid stylistic matchups for him, because they were mostly strikers. However, he did not have much experience, and Izzy was still quite tough because he's very skilled. Yuri is also quite dangerous. Jan, I thought, was going to beat him actually. I do feel like in that fight, Jan really slowed down. I mean, really showed his age. It's like he's been old for a while now, but it's like he was still looking great when he was old, and then when he fought Alex, it's like he slowed down a lot. And that fight was very close. However, he's very impressive still. Even with that limited experience, he was able to survive on the ground versus Jan, who has so much experience, so many submissions. Yeah, he does not really get submissions anymore, but still, he's a decent grappler, you know. I do feel like I want some more from him. Maybe I would like to see him against more difficult matchups like Ankalaev. But I feel like even though he had some favorable matchups, he's already done so much in such little time and became a double champ that I gotta put him 8 here as well with these guys. I just gotta do that. Ilya Topuria. Okay, actually I really don't know about this one. Let me think. Skill-wise, how dangerous he is, mentality super confident, he's one of the best, 100%. And he did beat Volkanovski. But he still hasn't fought most people in the division, like the most top people. And he really has one win against Volkanovski, who's coming off a knockout win. Still a great win, but that diminishes it a little bit. I do feel like if he had to go through Max, then he would have lost. Like, that's my opinion. I still think even now he loses to Max. I think that's a bad stylistic matchup for him and a tougher fight on Volkanovski. I know that Volkanovski beat Max 3 times, but styles make fights. I do feel like he beats pretty much everybody else, so that is very impressive. But I do feel like he needs to do more, just like Sean O'Malley. Right now he does not want to fight anybody. He's just sitting out, won the belt. I like his personality and everything. I like to watch him fight. I just hope he actually fights instead of sits out and yeah. So I feel like because he needs to do more, I'm gonna put him B. But these two people have very high potential to actually become top champions. Okay. Now, Tom Aspinall. He's the interim champion. Personally, I don't consider him a champion, but a lot of people do now. Because, for good reason actually, because John Jones isn't fighting at all. And he does not want to give Tom Aspinall a shot. He wants to fight old people. So Tom Aspinall will keep busy in the meantime, defend that interim title. So, yeah, I do feel like Tom Aspinall, I mean, he hasn't done too much yet. I wanted to put him in 8 here, but he really hasn't done that much yet. I mean, he has beaten some great people like Volkov, sorry. Then, yeah, that Sergey Pavlovich win, I thought he was going to get knocked out. That was super impressive. I thought if he wins, it's due to the grappling. I mean, but he's finishing everybody. He has the shortest fight time in the UFC right now, I think. He's finishing everybody. He's super well-rounded. And actually, I am going to put him in 8 here. I just have to. I know that he hasn't done as much yet, but he beat a monster in Sergey Pavlovich, and it's really hard to see anybody beating him. Maybe only John Jones, potentially, but he could also beat John Jones. Yeah, I do feel like he has a promising future ahead of him, and he's super dangerous. Okay, and of course, the one and only, not the current champ, but we all know why he's not the current champ, because he knows it would be too easy for him to become a champ again, yeah? So it's Uncle Chael Sonnen, yeah?
I'm minding my own business, and I'm in a park. This guy, stranger to me, takes a piece of gum out of his pocket, he puts it in his mouth, and he just throws the wrapper on the ground. There was a police officer standing right there. He didn't do anything. And I saw that. I had to see these things at a young age. There was years where my father didn't even make $100,000. Or barely made $100,000. And sure, we had a maid, but she only came twice a week. What do you think happened the other 5 days?
The undefeated, undisputed GOAT of MMA.
And I'm still undefeated, exactly as I had predicted for you guys. You know, it's very bizarre. I'm in a sport where there's only two ways to lose, knockout or tap out, neither of which happened in my contest. But somehow, because of the administrative rules, they want to raise his hand.
Of UFC, never lost a round, and if he came back today, he could beat John Jones, Tom Aspinall, everybody. He would beat all of these at the same time, you know, without even losing that round. We all know that easy. So guys, I did not put anybody D because, I don't know, putting a champion D is just weird. It's like, I mean, if you're comparing to the other ones, not entirely, but otherwise it kind of looks like the champion fighter is terrible, but that really isn't the case. So guys, comment down below whether you agree with my list. Hit the like, hit subscribe, and see you in the next video.
Three! I never stop, motherfucker! Never! Never! Basic suck my balls!